California Highway Patrollers close eastbound 80 after reports of crashes and spinouts.
It starts with a wall of white. You're driving, but you can't see the road anymore. Snow hammers against your windshield so aggressively that your wipers can't keep up. They sweep back and forth at full speed, yet the glass instantly fills again. The highway that was clear just minutes ago has vanished. Your tires feel loose, like they're no longer connected to solid ground. The steering wheel responds a half-second too late. Somewhere behind you, a tractor-trailer is fighting the same battle and losing. This isn't a scene from a disaster film. This is Interstate 80 over Donner Summit in California's Sierra Nevada, and a powerful winter storm has just taken control. At around 7,000 feet above sea level, Donner Summit is one of the most important mountain passes in the United States. On calm days, it's breathtaking. Tall pines line the highway. Granite cliffs rise dramatically into clear blue sky. It feels peaceful, almost gentle. But the Sierra Nevada has a different personality in winter. Storm systems rolling in from the Pacific Ocean collide with these mountains and intensify rapidly. Moist air is forced upward, cools quickly, and releases massive amounts of snow. Conditions can shift in moments. That's exactly what happened here. Drivers reported decent visibility 1 minute and near total blindness the next. Snow began falling at staggering rates, piling up faster than crews could remove it. Plows carved paths through thick accumulation, only to watch those lanes refill almost immediately. Then the wind arrived. Powerful gusts swept across exposed ridges, lifting loose snow and blasting it sideways across the road. The result? Whiteout conditions so severe that drivers couldn't see beyond the front of their vehicles. Lane markers disappeared beneath layers of compacted slush and ice. Road signs blurred into indistinct shapes. Guardrails blended into snowbanks. Drivers lost all visual reference points, and once orientation disappears, control soon follows. The first vehicles began to spin. A slight brake tap on ice was enough. Tires locked. Rear ends swung wide. One car drifted into a median. Another clipped a guardrail. Disabled vehicles quickly became obstacles in travel lanes. Drivers behind them couldn't react in time, not because they weren't paying attention, but because they simply couldn't see. Collisions multiplied. Every stalled engine, every crumpled fender, every sideways SUV narrowed the already treacherous corridor. But the most dangerous machines on that mountain weren't passenger cars. They were the big rigs. Interstate 80 isn't just a commuter road, it's a major freight artery connecting Northern California to the rest of the country. Massive tractor-trailers use this route daily, hauling food, supplies, electronics, and construction materials. In good weather, they move efficiently. In ice and heavy snow, they become unpredictable. Climbing toward the summit, several trucks lost traction. Their heavy trailers, designed for stability at highway speeds, began sliding laterally. Drivers attempted corrections, steering adjustments, controlled braking, but physics had already taken over. One trailer swung out across a lane, then another. Within moments, a fully loaded 18-wheeler was positioned sideways across multiple lanes, effectively forming a steel barricade. When a tractor-trailer jackknifes on a mountain pass during a blizzard, clearing it isn't simple. Tow crews must reach the scene first, navigating the same ice-covered roads and zero visibility conditions. Even once on site, recovery requires careful coordination, heavy equipment, and time. Time that the storm was not giving. Snowfall continued relentlessly. Winds rebuilt drifts across freshly cleared pavement. Any progress felt temporary. Authorities implemented chain controls, a common winter safety measure in the Sierra. Vehicles were required to install tire chains or demonstrate four-wheel or all-wheel drive capability before proceeding. Checkpoints slowed traffic dramatically. Lines of vehicles stretched for miles along the approaches to Donner Summit. Engines idled as drivers waited for inspection. Fuel levels dropped. Anxiety rose. Some motorists were prepared with winter kits and full tanks. Others were not. And when traffic suddenly stops on an icy incline in near zero visibility, the danger doesn't vanish. It intensifies. Approaching vehicles often had little warning that traffic ahead had come to a complete standstill. In heavy blowing snow, brake lights can disappear almost instantly. More rear-end collisions followed. More vehicles became immobilized. More lanes were blocked. The situation evolved into a cascading failure. Each new incident compounded the existing congestion. Meanwhile, freight operations ground to a halt. Authorities began holding commercial trucks at lower elevations or redirecting them entirely to to prevent additional jackknife accidents near the summit. It was a necessary safety move, but one with widespread consequences. Supply chains depend on timing. Delayed deliveries ripple outward. Businesses awaiting shipments faced uncertainty. Perishable goods sitting in trailers risked spoilage if delays continued. A temporary shutdown of a major interstate corridor affects far more than the drivers caught in the storm. It disrupts entire regions. Frustrated motorists began seeking alternate routes around the summit. Smaller county roads and residential streets saw unexpected surges of traffic, but those roads weren't engineered for heavy volumes or large commercial vehicles. They were narrower, steeper, less frequently plowed. Under identical storm conditions, they became just as dangerous, if not more so. Vehicles slid backward on hills. Cars became stuck mid-incline, blocking intersections. Minor crashes clogged roads never designed for detour-level traffic. Instead of solving the congestion, the detours spread it outward. Emergency responders faced mounting challenges. Ambulances and fire crews struggled to reach crash sites through gridlocked traffic and deteriorating conditions. Snow-packed shoulders left little space for maneuvering. Every response took longer. Every recovery required more effort. And throughout it all, the wind continued erasing progress. Snowdrifts rebuilt within minutes of being cleared. Plows worked continuously, yet conditions seemed frozen in chaos. For those trapped inside their vehicles, the experience became deeply unsettling. Isolation sets in quickly during a whiteout. You can't see the landscape. You can't determine distance. The outside world feels erased. Cell service becomes unreliable in mountain terrain. Updates are scarce. Drivers are left guessing how long the closure will last. Engines run for warmth as snow piles higher against doors. People check mirrors repeatedly, worried about an unseen vehicle sliding toward them. Some drivers reported relying entirely on instinct, steering based on where they believed the lane should be rather than what they could see. It stops feeling like a commute. It starts feeling like survival. Donner Summit's geography makes it particularly vulnerable. High elevation, exposed ridgelines, and steep grades combine to amplify Pacific storm systems. Even with advanced monitoring, experienced plow operators, and established safety protocols, certain storms exceed what infrastructure can handle. This was one of those storms. Eventually, snowfall eased. Winds weakened. Visibility improved, but the aftermath remained. Dozens of crashes, extended closures, delayed shipments, and hours of stranded travelers. The event served as a stark reminder. Roads that feel routine in summer can transform into hazardous corridors within minutes during winter. The boundary between ordinary travel and life-threatening conditions is thinner than most people realize, especially on mountain passes. When that boundary disappears, consequences escalate quickly. Vehicles collide, traffic freezes, economic systems stall, emergency resources stretch thin, all because nature behaved exactly as it always has in the Sierra Nevada. Winter doesn't negotiate. It doesn't slow down for schedules or freight deadlines, and on this day, high above California, in a corridor carved through granite and pine, Interstate 80 became something entirely different from a highway. For several long hours, it was a reminder of how small control can feel against the force of a mountain storm. And for everyone caught in that wall of white, it was unforgettable. That's it for today. Stay safe out there. See you in the next video.